Hi witches, welcome to a brand new week, and this week we are focusing on a single topic, and that is Glamour Magick. So, a lot of you guys have been asking me to talk about this. I am not like specifically into Glamour Magick as the main focus of my practice, but I think it is really cool and I want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. So I educated myself a little bit on this and I wanted to share my perspective on what Glamour Magick is and kind of my perspective on it, how you can connect. And I actually found that a lot of the practices that I do anyways kind of like go hand in hand with this. It was super cool. Now, do not fret. I did bring in an expert later this week to tell us a little bit more about Glamour Magick and educate us further, but for today, I just kind of wanted to talk about my take on it, so let's do that. Now, when we think about Glamour Magick, we kind of tend to think about magic that is used to enhance one's outer appearance, so through makeup, through self-care, and it totally can be, don't get me wrong, but it is also about exuding the energy you wish to portray in a given situation. So when I think about glamour, like that word, I think firstly Marilyn Monroe, of course, just like glamorous, or like Audrey Hepburn, but I also think of glamour in the more like magical fantasy sense, which is like an illusion that is being cast over. It's usually like a fae creature, right? And to stay in that vein, I often think about, those fairy tale witches that can disguise themselves to appear younger or more ethereal than their perhaps more wizened kind of like crone form. So that's really like what comes to mind when I think of Glamour Magick. But ultimately, Glamour Magick is really all about exuding that confidence, which is why I really wanted to chat about it during Leo season. Now, to those of you who are like, but like I don't really do like makeup, or like I don't really have a self-care routine. You do. It's your grooming routine, taking a shower and brushing your hair, brushing your teeth. I really encourage you guys to think about some of your more basic grooming routines. So like showering, brushing your teeth, getting dressed, stuff like that. A lot of that stuff can be infused with and used to aid a practitioner in exuding the confidence that they deserve to exude in public, because you guys are just so awesome and you deserve to feel your best and to look your best. So how can you specifically connect with Glamour Magick? Well, the most popular one that I've seen is to enchant your makeup, which if you don't wear makeup, hold on, you can still do like your body wash or your shampoo to cleanse you, to scrub away any sort of negativity. So there is like lots of stuff that you can do in terms of that. But I have like a red lipstick that, oh my gosh, does not come off. Like it stains your mouth. Oh my gosh. But I enchanted it to give me the confidence to speak my truth, which was something that I struggled a lot with at my previous job. And I used it a lot back then to help me be more confident when I had to be in board meetings with a bunch of like middle-aged men and me just be like, all of you are wrong. I see witches drawing protective sigils with their concealer or enchanting their makeup tools with specific intentions, showing power or coming off as beautiful or coming off as unassuming, even if you have some maybe ulterior motives. I don't know. I don't want to judge your practice. I also really love color magic, as you guys know, even though I know I wear pretty much monochrome black. So something I used to do as a novice practitioner who could not openly practice was to use color magic with my nail polish. So if I had a specific intention, I would choose the color that went along with that sort of theme. So like, for example, if I wanted to be protected, I would use black nail polish. Or if I was doing a protective working, I would use black nail polish. Or if I was doing a love working, I would use red and pink or something like that. So matching up your nail polish to match your intention, fantastic way to use Glamour Magick. And I highly doubt too many people are gonna be like specifically being like, oh, is your nail polish witchcraft? If you wanted to take that a step further and are also one of those people who can get their nails done, I simply cannot because they are destroyed in like 5 minutes. But if your nail tech can or yourself, I don't know, you might be very talented, you can draw like protective symbols or sigils on your nails that again, match your intention or whatever spell work that you are doing. So I always think protection, but it can be whatever intention that you want. Moving right along, another very common way of practicing glamour magic is to take a ritual bath. Baths are great for cleansing, protecting, and surrounding yourself with specific energies or giving yourself a certain aura. Again, this kind of makes me think of the queen from Snow White and the Huntsman. I believe it's that movie where she's like in the tub and then she like gets out and there's like all this like stuff dripping off of her in this sort of like magical sheen. My bathroom in general is just very small, so I don't really take ritual baths here, but in the past what I would do is kind of like dunk my entire body, or as much of my body as I could fit, under the water, and then just kind of like standing up at the end and just letting all of that drip down. It really helped me stay in that moment, and it really made the working feel all that more powerful and all that more meaningful. So by no means do you have to do that, but it's something that I super recommend. If you are like me and cannot take like baths, I also recommend doing something similar with a shower. So instead of adding herbs like you would into a ritual bath, you can put them into a little like cloth bag, and you can either hang it from the shower head or you can put it on the floor of your shower. And this allows for a sacred steam to build up in your shower and just really surround you with the energies of those herbs that you're using. So yeah. And this is also a really great method to use for prepping for further ritual or spell work. So I often find that it's a really great thing to do before or a really great thing to do after, if maybe you're doing a baneful working or something like that. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is maybe something that I'm a little bit biased against because I did study fashion, but I want to like impress upon people how important getting dressed can be to your mental health, because and this is something that I really struggled with during like lockdown times. Oh my gosh. On the days that I was just like kind of in my pajamas, I felt horrible. But on the days that I put effort into my appearance, it was like a better day for me, and it gave me something to do every day. Now, I'm not saying that that is for everybody, and if you are like pajamas all the time, love it. Live your truth. But I do encourage people to think about like what your favorite style of clothing is. Because when we dress in stuff that we like and when it looks good on us, we act differently. We carry ourselves differently. We're like, yeah, I look hot. Like, oh my gosh. I also super encourage you to think about like who your style icon is and why you like the clothes that they're wearing and how you kind of incorporate that into your current wardrobe. So if you guys, I would just love to be everyone's witchy personal shopper. Like, honestly, dream goals. Like, let me just pick your clothes for you. Like, let's play dress up. But I totally know that that's not everyone's whole bag. I'm really lucky that at a young age I kind of knew the aesthetic that I wanted to cultivate for myself and in my life, and it hasn't really changed too much. But for people who are still discovering that for themselves, or maybe are rediscovering that after a period of like not knowing, I encourage you to live as authentically as possible. And if you like something and it fits you and it looks good and it's not something you would regularly buy, but you like it, you should get it. Just my 2 cents. I also really love the idea of specifically getting dressed up to do witchcraft stuff. So maybe having a specific outfit that you wear. This is often why you'll see like robes being listed as a tool in a lot of witchcraft books, because I think it really helps you kind of step into that ritual space. Set aside the stressors or the outside distractions from, you know, other parts of your life and really just like sit and focus and become that witch that you need to be. Going hand in hand with dressing in a way that exudes confidence or maybe brings you into that ritual headspace, I also really want to touch on body modification. Now, again, this is something that I'm kind of like weirdly uniquely qualified to talk about. Not only do I have a lot of tattoos, I also work at a tattoo shop. I am not a tattoo artist. Please do not request me. You do not want me drawing on you. Like, oh my gosh. But I have become really good friends with like my coworkers, including our piercer, who just like has opened my mind up to a lot of like why people get body modifications, especially some of the more hardcore stuff. She was talking to me a little bit. She doesn't do this, by the way. But about some of the more like heavy duty body mods. So like getting punches in your ears or like your tongue split, and I'm not gonna go super into it, but one of the things that we have had a conversation about is suspension, because she's like, I think it's really cool, but she was explaining to me like how this is a very spiritual experience for some people, you know, and how they kind of see it as a way of like overcoming something, which I never really thought about. It's never really appealed to me. If you are into suspension art, super cool. But she was explaining explaining it to me, and that really opened up my mind a little bit more to some of the more spiritual aspects of body modification. In my experience, I have gotten my body modified in order to honor deities and to honor myself. So I find that like by putting beautiful things on my body, or things that I think are beautiful on my body, I'm like permanently reclaiming part of myself, because for a really long time I really felt like I did not have control over my corpus, you know. So I found that by like reclaiming myself and being able to make that decision for myself was very powerful, and it really was empowering. So not only do I have parts of my body dedicated to the deities that I worship, and I plan on getting more deity tattoos. Now, body modification is definitely a big decision, and I'm not here to be like, everyone go get tattoos right now, you're not a witch. Like, that's like cult level stuff, please don't do that. No, but I do encourage people to, if you're seeking a greater degree of like bodily autonomy, or a greater sense of reclamation of your body, if that is something that you have struggled with, like I've struggled with, I have found a great deal of peace and a great deal of spiritual satisfaction in tattooing my body or getting my body pierced. And I feel like that isn't necessarily mentioned when we talk about Glamour Magick, so I wanted to mention it today. Those are all really great ways that you can kind of connect with this form of magic. But I did want to end with some correspondences, some herbal and crystal correspondences for all of my wonderful green witches out there. Or if you're like me and just like to have like jars and stones all over the place. So in terms of crystals, I really recommend using stones such as rose quartz, ruby if you have it, garnet, carnelian, citrine. I love the golden healer quartz. It's like this really beautiful, like deep yellow. It probably is treated in the lab, but honestly, I just love it so much. And then malachite is also another good one. I super don't vibe with that stone, but if you do, killer. And then in terms of herbs that you can use in Glamour Magick, or that are commonly used when making potions and oils and tinctures and stuff like that, I would recommend using plants such as St. John's wort if you can. If you are on an SSRI, stay away. Lavender, roses, jasmine, clove, apple, flaxseed, clove, honeysuckle, gardenias, anything that I feel is ultra like perfumey or really nutritious and good for you, like outwardly. So like we're talking about like flaxseed. This is not an herb, but honey is also used a lot in Glamour Magick, and I recommend it because honey is delicious. So all in all, that is my little spiel on Glamour Magick. I would love to hear how you guys connect with this form of magic. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.